What's going on, everybody? We are back after a short hiatus for the month
My
of
fault.
March. Well, we're not.
My
No,
fault.
this is a group
My fault.
podcast.
You can
You're
say that all you want.
you're
It's still
already
my
going to
fault.
start out. You're going to
Yes,
start out our return with a fight.
by blaming myself. Yes,
All
it
right.
was my fault.
Well, this is a group. This isn't just Sandy's podcast. Okay.
I understand that, but since it's a group and I was not able to do it, it was my fault. You were able to. I was not.
I should have replaced you. We should have had a
Oh,
guest
yeah.
podcast person.
But then it wouldn't be our podcast. Then it
No,
it's your
it still
podcast,
would have.
and I'm just a
Absolutely.
guest.
Listen, there's been plenty of times when talk show hosts have had people sub in. It's still their podcast or their show.
Oh. You are not Regis Fieldman.
I would not want to be that guy.
Well,
Anyways,
dead.
welcome in, everybody. We're happy to be back. We have a lot to go over with some past stuff that's happened, and we decided to make this podcast more specifically focused
Yes.
for this month at least. There's some updates that are happening regarding this genre. So we're going over Star Wars, this podcast. There's new Star Wars releases happening in May. We figured we'd get ahead of the game and talk about all stuff Star Wars as well as that. But before we do that, we have some things to catch up on. Of course, some celebrities that have passed away, but also a very fan favorite show
Yes.
of Sandman. And I am going to be watching it. I've not watched it yet.
And you're missing out, dude.
I know there's a lot. You know what? I've actually caught up on everything
Then you should.
that I need to watch. So
I-
there's a new one that I
I'm
need
going
to
to say
start.
this. I'll start this one before Justified then.
Okay.
And I don't say that lightly because Justified is such a phenomenal show.
Yeah.
But this one, it's a phenomenal show. The show we're talking about is Stranger Things, which comes out again next month. The first part comes out next month because it's in two parts this time.
When does part 2 come out?
They haven't said yet. It shouldn't be much longer. I mean, it's kind of like they're breaking it up, like this one for a couple months, and then a couple months later after that they'll release the next.
So I could easily catch up and be.
Oh, easily.
Then I'm
catch up,
good to
'cause
go.
It's only been like 3 seasons or so.
Then I'm good to go. And this is the last one, right?
No, actually, from what I heard, since the COVID, they had a hiatus. The Duffer Brothers wrote more for the show, and they might have one, maybe two more seasons after this.
Okay.
But they are going to end it. They have an end in sight, and because the kids are getting fucking older and growing up, they kind of have to kind of hurry it up to end it because it's set for kids.
Well, I mean.
No, not to watch, not kids to watch. It's
No,
set
no,
for-
no. I understand. I understand.
This one looks. I just saw the new trailer for it. It looks phenomenal. They did absolute great justice and a new enemy, and it's all based off of Dungeons and Dragons.
Nice.
A lot of the bad people, monsters, are
Sure.
named after the Dungeons and Dragons characters.
Okay. Nice.
So yeah, can't wait to see it. It's a phenomenal show.
I can't wait to see it either. I'm excited.
Yes, I'm actually rewatching it right now.
Well, I might watch, depending on what goes on in my day tomorrow, I might start it tomorrow.
There you
That's
go.
soon.
Yeah.
But,
Text me, let me know how you like it.
yeah, I will. But definitely a great show, has had good ratings. And I think they do it wise to end it on a good note and plan out the
Yeah.
story and not drag it on. Because there's
Yes,
so many
yes.
shows out there that they drag on forever. I mean, I'm not talking about the cop shows and stuff like that, because that's been going on forever. But
Decades.
there's ones like, and I know you're not a fan of it, or at least I don't think you are, but in my opinion, they should have ended it a lot sooner. The Blacklist, which has
Yeah,
that law league, not legal, but like a little bit of like
Up like
crime
show
and
to it.
stuff.
Yeah.
Not nearly as much as like a cop show when it comes to like investigations, but
Right.
they renewed it for season 10. They're finishing up season 9 now. It's like It's enough already. You
Yeah,
dragged it on to the point where it's still good, but it's not
but
as
it's
good
getting
as it
kind of
was.
stupid.
It's just
Well, no, I'm not saying it's a stupid show. Right? I'm just saying some of the stories that they're having, they ran out of ideas, and some of
right
the stuff is just kind of, why are you doing
repetitive
this?
as well.
Yeah, yeah,
There's only so
exactly.
much you can do. So,
Yeah.
but
Well, that's why I was glad they ended Lucifer the
yeah,
way they did. That was a phenomenal show. If they would have kept on going, it would have been stupid.
yeah. I mean, it's nice when people don't like producers and Netflix,
Writers,
whoever does it, writers. Well, not even so much writers, but like whoever decides to keep the shows going. Most likely the
money
channels and
grubbers,
stuff
CEOs.
aren't just doing a money grab,
Yeah, yeah, they are.
right?
That's all they're doing. Yeah, they're just doing a money grab.
Right.
They got a popular show. They're gonna milk it for all it's worth, and that's the end of it.
Absolutely.
And they hope they get a show like MASH. MASH that, went on longer than the war did itself.
You always got to bring up MASH.
It's a phenomenal show. And
I
it
didn't say it
has
wasn't.
stood the test of time. It is still on streaming service. It is still being played on repeat on television and still having quite a lot of views watching it.
If I'm not mistaken, MASH was one of the, if not the MASH finale, it was still one of the most watched
It is,
televised
yeah,
like show
it is
events
still
ever.
the most watched television show ever.
Once we actually can afford a producer, the producer can look it up and
I know, right?
instead of us. But I'll look it up while you get into our next segment here.
Our next of the celebrities who have passed.
Yep.
Yeah. Well, at first, we have the sad announcement of one of the greatest and most legendary voices of all time who passed away, Gilbert Godfrey. I mean, his voice was so distinctive. Just, you hear that voice, you knew you were going to laugh. He was just funny. He was raunchy. He was hysterical. And just, I mean, he was even in Night Court. Of course, he was the bird from Aladdin. Get his name. Oh, I forget his name. Igor or Igor or something like that.
Oh, the bird from
The
Aladdin.
bird, yeah, from Aladdin. The
Uh,
the original Aladdin movie,
yeah.
not the remake. Which that bird I don't even think talked.
Um, in the remake, I don't know. God, now you're making me wonder. But yeah, but Godfrey,
I can't think of who it was.
again,
Yeah,
iconic voice.
iconic
He
voice.
pushed the envelope.
Yes,
Absolutely.
told one of the dirtiest
Iago.
jokes of all time on the roast that it was pretty much banned.
Well, we won't talk about it, so we don't get banned. But
YouTube ain't gonna ban us.
well,
It's on YouTube. You can watch it on YouTube.
we're not talking about it. Iago was his name. from
Iago,
Aladdin.
that's it.
But
Done so much
definitely
stuff.
from what I've heard and read, very nice guy who,
Yes.
had a big heart. So very
Yeah.
sad to
hear his
obviously have
passing.
lost him. But
Yeah.
more people as well. Some notables. One that you might not recognize the name, but you would recognize the woman if you saw her. Estelle Harris.
Yes.
Was on Seinfeld, Toy Story.
Another distinctive voice too.
Very distinctive voice. Did stuff on Disney as well, but was on multiple different things. But
Toy Story. Seinfeld. She was George Costanza's mother.
yes, Toy Story. She was
She was Mrs. Potato Head.
Mrs. Potato Head, but died of natural causes at 93. So God bless.
Yeah, she had a nice long life. You got to at least give her that.
Absolutely.
Wonderful woman.
One that I'll mention that many people probably wouldn't know, but Paul Herman was known on Sopranos, Irishman, Goodfellas, played a bunch of different characters and was not widely known but successful because of the acting he did in those movies.
Yeah.
So very sad to hear that passing. And then one of second most recent big time name recently that
just like last week, wasn't it?
would have been probably 2 weeks ago. My
Yeah.
good friend loves this band, loves this
A
group,
lot of people do.
which a lot of people do, of course. but Taylor Hawkins, Foo Fighters drummer, at age of 50, passed away.
Yeah.
And
Now, was he still playing with Foo Fighters at this point, or was he out
yep,
already?
he
He was he
absolutely
okay.
was.
I
Yeah,
wasn't sure. I'm not the biggest Foo Fighter. I mean, I don't mind their music. It's decent music, but I'm not their biggest fan, so I don't know much about them.
yeah,
I just know Dave Grohl is it's Dave Grohl in that, is it, right?
from
Yeah,
Nirvana.
he
Yep,
was with from Nevada. Yeah, he's in it. He founded it, right?
right.
Yeah, that's about all
Um,
I know.
no, but I mean,
It's
it's
sad.
called up in it. They don't know they've canceled their tour,
Yes.
and rightfully so. But
Yes,
there's
they need to
it's
mourn.
obviously this is the when you have such a big name drummer like that, and Grohl, who used to be a drummer in Nirvana.
Yep.
I mean, but now he sings and plays
And
guitar.
plays guitar. Yeah,
But it's
talented. He is talented.
but it brings up a point. I mean, they're not spring chickens, obviously, right? They still put
No,
out amazing
but they're
music.
quite young.
They're quite young. They put out amazing music and do great concerts. But
Yes, on that I will give to them. He broke his leg on stage, went to the hospital, came back, and finished the show. Not many artists will do that, and I give him big props for that.
would you now if you broke your leg on the podcast, would you come back and finish it
Fuck yeah, I
same
would.
day? All right.
Yeah,
I'm just making sure.
I'd still stream too.
You would finish the
Now,
podcast, or would you have to go to the hospital first and then do it?
depends on how much the pain is.
Got it.
Like if I need something to help the pain so I can come back and do the show, I will go to the hospital, get some pain medicine, come back, do the show.
All right. I like to hear the commitment.
Now, the only thing that would stop me from streaming is if I broke one of my hands or something and not physically able to do it.
Well, I mean that's streaming, but you
Yeah,
just got to
that's
be able to
streaming.
use one hand to click.
Yes, no, I said streaming. I didn't say podcast.
Streaming
I said
would be
streaming.
tough.
The only, yes, I
Streaming would
can't
be tough.
kind of need both hands to do that.
Well, it would be how many weeks of just chatting streams?
No one
'Cause you
watches
could do
me for
those.
just chatting. No one watches me for that.
Or you could do. There's some games you can do one-handed clicks and
Full
stuff.
throttle is about the only thing I can think of.
Full throttle. You could do. You probably would not.
Minesweeper.
You would not enjoy them. Oh. How many people do you think stream
Remember?
Minesweeper?
How many people remember Minesweeper?
I remember Minesweeper. I did not learn how to play Minesweeper till about probably 3 years ago, but I played it on like when it came out and whatnot, and like and when it was on those old PCs.
Yeah, old PCs.
I played it on there, not knowing how to play it, and I won sometimes, but it was probably pure luck.
Rare. Yeah, most likely.
But that's actually a pretty complicated game. Like it's actually
numbers.
ingenious. Well, yeah, but it's ingenious. Like it's like
Yeah.
however many spots away the mines are, and like,
Yep.
it's very
It's
interesting.
math. It's basically math, and whoever came up with it, the simplicity of it is amazing how he did it. 'Cause it's not much coding to do it,
Right.
and he made a fortune off that fucking thing.
Yeah. By the
But
way, MASH, 106 million viewers watched
Yeah.
that, which is still the highest season
this is the highest.
finale
Thought
of all
so.
time.
It was a great finale. It was a great show. And actually, wait, what was her name? Fuck, she just passed away too. Sally something. Fuck, I can't think of her name.
Sally,
Oh, I'm looking.
you're
I'm looking.
making something up, I think.
I am not. We just discussed it.
Did we?
Yes,
Sally Kellerman
that's it.
from MASH.
Yep. I think she was in the movie, not the show, though.
Um, let's see, MASH actress, not just as MASH, the 1970 film.
Yep, that was the film.
Yes.
She was in the film. Yeah. I think she was Major Houlihan, I think.
Margaret
Yeah,
Houlihan.
Major Margaret Houlihan.
Hot Lips, it says.
Hot Lips is her nickname. Yep.
What an interesting nickname to have.
Because she had hot lips, baby.
But obviously, many people mourning the passing of all those great
greats.
celebrities, and they will be surely missed. But we will move on. We are going to be, of course, talking about one of the all-time great content series. I can't even call it a series
Universe.
anymore.
Universe.
Universes ever, Star Wars.
Yes.
And
And I know why we're talking about it.
And why are we talking about it?
because you are drooling at the mouth waiting for Obi-Wan to come out next month.
Well, I mean, not the only one. It's Obi-Wan
I'm not saying
Kenobi.
you're the only one. I'm just saying that's the reason for this podcast.
They, we'll start off talking about. We'll get to this point, but I want to talk about Disney taking over Star Wars, which will probably be the last thing we'll talk about with it, but or throughout. But we'll start out with the movies. Which movie is your favorite of the Star Wars?
Ooh, that's a good
That'll be a question for you. But
also a question for everyone else. I want to see it in the comments, everyone. What is your favorite Star Wars movie?
Favorite movie? What do you think of the music? The shows that have been out? There's been multiple different Star Wars shows across
the books
as well. I mean, there's so much content from Star Wars.
Yeah,
it's amazing how much
there is.
George
There's comic books. There's so much.
Action figures, Legos. I mean, it's how much money has been
made off that.
Made off of Star Wars cumulatively.
Yeah.
Not counting the sale to George Lucas, which was only what, $3 billion?
I don't remember. Somewhere around that.
For a steal, 3.1.
Yeah, something like that.
I mean, I don't know. Anyways,
favorite movie. I think my favorite movie is Empire.
Empire.
Yeah, gotta be one. Probably the best sequel ever made.
Yeah, a lot of people agree with you on that.
Yeah, I know.
I would probably
after that would go Return of the Jedi.
Yeah, I would probably say Empire as well, and then New Hope.
Okay.
Just because of it started it all, and so much was built on it. So many different ideas and species, and
yeah, it was great. The only thing I had an issue with New Hope is it's slow to start.
It is, but when you think about other movie series, we'll call it, of how they're slow to start, the only one I can think of off the top of my head right away would be Lord of the Rings. Super slow to start.
Yes, it is.
Like the second movie,
kind of.
The second movie is really good.
Yes, third one slowed down too.
Third one slowed down, but it has the most. And we're not talking about Lord of the Rings this one, but it has the most awards nominated and won. The third one, but yeah, I would say Empire and New Hope, just because of what they set in place.
Yeah, and if it wasn't for New Hope, we wouldn't have any of this.
Right, but yeah, I mean, ultimately, I think they did a great job. I know people are back and forth about this, but I would say that the prequel series, in hindsight, for many others, I always thought they weren't that bad, but in hindsight, when you learned about what the sequels did and what they are about, and looking at, how they came out and were presented in the storyline and the character development, all that, prequels are, no pun intended, light years ahead of the freaking sequels. You have to agree with me on that. I mean, there's so many
hates sequels so badly.
What's that?
I don't think the sequels were as bad as everyone says they are.
Let me ask you this. Sequels aren't that bad. No. And by the way, if anyone's listening to this podcast or watching it, turn off now, because we're going to be talking about as much stuff as possible. So if you haven't seen stuff, spoilers are always going to be in here. And we'll put it in the description.
Seen it by now?
But this is how they bring Palpatine back. Somehow Palpatine returned. Really? That's the best you could do to make someone come back. You could have used the expanded universe, as it was called at the time, and the clones and all sorts of. You could have used any of that.
What they should have done was the Thrawn trilogy. The Thrawn trilogy would have been a better sequel, by far. Easily done.
They could have done that, and then they could have made an even more trilogy after if they wanted, which could have been, somewhat this storyline. But if they would have just followed the expanded universe, they could have made so many movies like the Marvel. More than the Marvel. Because there's so much stuff to tell.
So much.
But the reason why I don't like the sequels is because Episode 7, Star Killer Base. Wow, that's a lot like the Death Star. And guess what? You destroy it in that one. Oh, really? What was destroyed in Episode 4? The Death Star. And then Episode 5, like, really? You have to kill Luke Skywalker?
Yeah, that kind of pissed me off. You don't kill off.
Shit.
Mark Hamill wanted him to get killed off, though. No, that was more Mark Hamill's fault.
I heard he was pissed off by it.
That's not what I heard. But I've heard both, actually.
I heard that he was pissed off with the first one and the second one. Yeah. Well, the one he was in, I mean. Because he did not like how the story went and what it did. And that, you know, first off, like, Poe was Force sensitive, and then they just, like, completely abandoned that after, like, halfway through the first movie of the sequel.
See, the problem with the sequels were they had J.J. Abrams do it. Then they gave it to I forget who the director was for the second one.
He sucks. He's never going to work again, so it doesn't matter.
No, he's never going to work again because he fucked it up completely. I mean, the first sequel wasn't horrible. It was good. It had potential, and it had potential to take it to where it needed to go.
Yeah.
Then the second director came in and fucked everything up, and then J.J. Abrams came in and tried to fix it. He did okay fixing it, but he only had so much to work with. There wasn't much he could do to fix it, to put it back where he wanted it.
Oh, absolutely.
He should have never left to begin with.
Well, that's the problem when you bring in multiple different directors. I mean,
why the 2 Star Trek movies did phenomenal and the third one bombed. He did the first 2, and then someone else did the third, and it fucking sucked.
Right, and I mean, same thing with, like, the Harry Potter movies have varied in, like, ratings, but, like, they switched directors throughout it into, like, 5 through 7, and then, other than 6, which dropped a little bit, but 5 through 7, 1 and 2 did pretty well, because they kept the same one.
Yep.
But...
Well, also, Dumbledore, the original Dumbledore in the first 2.
Yeah, but...
was so much better.
Oh, absolutely. But we'll have a whole podcast on that as well.
I'm sure we will.
But
maybe we'll do it when the new game comes out.
Yeah, but anyways, I mean, I just very disappointed with it. It's just
it was still entertaining to watch, though. I'll still watch them. I like them enough to watch them.
I won't.
What do you think of the Solo movie?
That's the one Star Wars movie I have not seen.
See, I like that. I know a lot of people.
I never watched it. You know why? Because I don't watch a lot of. It's not that I don't watch a lot of movies because I don't want to. It's just the past 2.5 years, as I'm not going to go into details because a lot of you who watch my streams or in the Discords that we're in know work life was not good, and I had very limited amount of what are you gonna? I control the podcast here with starting the recording and stopping. I can edit that out. Your shit there.
And I'll just put it in the comments. He edited this out because I made fun of him.
We need a producer to keep us in line. We need a producer. We're hiring a producer.
You paying for it? Sure as hell.
Listen, they can. It's called volunteer work.
Okay. Or what's you go to? Fuck, what's it called?
What?
Intern.
There you go. But now you made me lose my damn. Oh,
you weren't watching things because
of that. So, but I'm going. It's I. You know what? I probably will watch the Solo movie and then Stranger Things. There you go. I'll do that.
I think you should watch Stranger Things first.
No, it's 2 hours versus like millions of hours.
All right, how about this? Watch 1 episode of Stranger Things, and then watch Solo.
I can't.
And then watch more. Why not?
Because I'm going to get into Stranger Things off of episode 1, and then I'm going to have to watch it all. So, no.
That was worth
Anyways, people had mixed reviews about that one, though.
Yeah, I enjoyed it. I actually liked the story. I found it interesting. I think they did it justice. I think he played Solo very well. Of course, he played Chewbacca extremely well. And, of course, what's his name? Woody Harrelson. In it, I'm a huge fan of Woody Harrelson. I think he's a phenomenal actor. I thought it was good. You know, a lot of people ban it, but I think they didn't. What I think is they brought out so many movies, like one right after another, and people just got tired of Star Wars.
Well, it's tough to compare. I mean, when you have all those, and that was also in the time where they had the sequel series ending, like in between. It was in between. It was in between the Last Jedi and Rise. So
And then
it
before
did,
that, it was Rogue One came out
Rogue
as well.
Rogue One, phenomenal.
Yes, it was phenomenal. I'm not saying it wasn't. I'm just saying that came out. The other two movies were coming out. This came out. It was just too much at once for I think people to give it
Yeah,
justice.
it gets a bad rap as well, and
Yeah,
I know you are not a hater of the sequels like I am, but when you look at how much hate came out of The Last Jedi and
they
Rise of
went right to that.
Skywalker, then they had
Yeah,
that, people associate them all together. But
yeah.
I agree with
I
you.
think that's true.
I've heard Solo's good from people I
It,
trust. I'm going to watch it probably this weekend.
it
And
is good.
next podcast, remind me, I will tell you
What you think?
all my thoughts,
All right,
my
I'll
honest
hold you to
opinion.
that.
Um, but again, they've done a good job with the movies. They're talking about doing, I believe it's movies that they're still going to consider, doing a High Republic era
Yeah, I heard that too.
movies. Now, I
I
don't know
don't
if
know
that's
if
true
anything's
or
coming.
not.
I think someone was writing a script for it as we speak. This is the last I heard about it.
I would say if they're going to do it, I know they won't. And if they won't, they have to do it pretty much sooner or later if they want to do it with the right character. And I'll talk about that in a minute. They should do the Knights of the Old Republic video game,
Mhm.
like those two video games, as movies or a show. But
Or
a movie would make more sense.
I get that. Or if they weren't going to go that way, but keep it in that era, they still have to bring in Raven.
Bring in Revan.
Raven. Revan. I don't know why I called him Raven. I'm sorry.
That's
I'm
that's what I.
tired.
That's all right. That's what I was gonna say. Is that
Yeah,
that's
Revan.
part of that
He's
series
phenomenal.
revolves around it.
Yeah,
So
and
that
that's not as they had him in some of the comic books, I believe.
yeah,
They have a couple books written about him, I believe.
they do.
And I want to say one of the cartoon anime had him in it. I
Um,
didn't watch them all, so I'm not sure about that.
I don't know what anime cartoon had it. I've watched all of them, but Rebels and
Or maybe
what
he was just mentioned.
the newer one that is about the sequel era, and I'm not gonna watch that one because fuck that. But anyways,
Wait, what? Well,
um,
maybe I'm wrong.
who should
Possible.
play that character? You ask.
I didn't, but why not?
Keanu Reeves. Keanu
That'd be
Reeves as
interesting.
Revan.
It's not a bad idea.
You look at like pictures of Darth Revan,
hmm
looks very similar or could
I,
to
I
Keanu
just
Reeves.
I don't want him to have his helmet off. I love his helmet too much.
You don't want him to have it off?
No, I want him to wear that thing the entire
Oh,
fucking
well
movie.
he's going to have to at some point. When
No,
does he get it though? In the
I
it's
don't remember. To be
probably
honest, I haven't
halfway
played those
through
games in forever.
halfway through KOTOR 1 probably, right?
Probably.
But that era is going to be sweet, and you know why is also because in that era, at least I believe, depending on when they do it, Yoda's still the Grand Master then.
Yes, yes, yes.
So he'll be back again. Woo!
You ain't never going to get rid of that guy.
He's freaking.
He's also in the Old Republic, the game, Star Wars: The Old Republic MMO.
Is he?
You actually fight him in that.
Really?
Yeah, that's why I was trying to get you into it, but you just wouldn't get into it.
You know, MMOs are not my thing. They just
Yeah, I
haven't.
know they're not. I know they're
I've
not.
I've given them shots multiple times with World of Warcraft. That
Okay,
game
it was okay.
That game the first time, and then the time you made me play it. That was the
No,
second
not
time I
me.
tried to play it.
World
Yes.
of Warcraft was not me.
No. I'm talking
Oh.
about Old Republic.
Old Republic, yeah.
It was WoW. I tried Old Republic a while ago, and then I tried it again last year when you tried to get me into it. MMOs. I just can't get into it. I
That's
just
fair
can't.
enough. Not for everyone.
It's just I
It's
like.
a shame though. The stories in it are great.
I'm sure it is. It's just the thing with MMOs, and especially ones like that, is that they're endless,
Yeah.
and there's so much stuff. Like I don't need to. I like to 100% things to a point. Like it doesn't have to be 100%, but like
Yes, it does.
that kind of stuff you can never like 100%, and that bothers me. And it's also just like I don't know. I at some point in a game want to be that god-like character.
Yes. Well,
And
you
you
can get
can't
that in
be
MMOs. No, you can get that in MMOs,
You have to focus on a certain path there, though.
but you have you have to
Exactly.
do a lot of things to get it, and it's a pain in the ass to get it. So
Right.
yeah, I understand that.
It's a huge time commitment. Like
It
RPGs and
is.
stuff. Like
Too much time.
yeah, but That would be an awesome. I think they need to do which they're doing obviously, but I want to see like it'd be Game of Thrones cost like, but like
Yeah.
something like Star Wars era esque. When I say that, I mean like Jedi Sith esque sort of thing.
Yeah,
Battles and like could be High Republic era, but I want to see that kind of TV series. I mean, not that they're not doing and we can transition into the live TV series and then talk about the animated stuff, but they're doing a great job with Mandalorian.
Oh God, yeah.
Book of Boba Fett I have not seen either, so that's
I haven't seen. I've only seen the first episode. And the first episode was good. I just haven't gotten. There's so much to watch and everything, so
Ahsoka,
I just haven't gotten to finish it. But
they're coming out with Ahsoka.
Yes.
And then they're coming out with Kenobi, obviously. So I mean,
yes,
they're doing a good job on that stuff. They've not really made any bad decisions, but it's stuff that's manageable. It's not stuff that is like super too high budget.
No.
So they're playing it safe.
Yeah.
But it's not
phenomenal. Movies either.
Right.
Movies usually lose money.
Oh yeah.
More times than not. So when you do a movie like that, you're throwing all this money at, you're going to lose a lot of money, which is going to bring down the quality the more you do it. So when you do TV shows, you can ring that back a little bit and put more emphasis on the stuff that you want to tell. And I think that helps.
Right. Absolutely. And I mean, they're just doing it. I know they're doing a great job with it regardless. I mean, if you saw the end of Mandalorian, great, very much so a great way to end it. It was purely like just every like fans like,
wet dream.
One way to put it. Yes. To see that,
tell the truth.
It's not going to touch what?
Tear? Was there a tear on your eye?
Not so much. Not a tear. It was more so just like
choked up.
Like not. It wasn't sadness. No, it was
No, I'm not saying in sadness and happiness and
yeah. It was just like it was just like holy crap. That's awesome. Yeah. Like it was just like, and I want to talk about that scene. And again, spoilers.
Spoilers. Yes.
I read an article about it like afterwards, and when you go back and watch the scene, it totally makes sense. So, Grand Moff Gideon, he's watching in terror as he sees this black cloaked figure with a green lightsaber tear through these dark troopers that are basically...
Well, no, wait. Before you even do that, he was looking in terror when just the X-Wing came in.
That's true. And you know why?
And he knew why.
Well, yeah. So at this point, because we're going on the Disney timeline now, Luke Skywalker was thought to be an urban legend. As far as everybody knows, he went onto the Death Star and came out with a torn apart and like crippled Darth Vader, murdered the Emperor, and blew up the Death Star. He's like a god considered like that. So he was in fear because he's like, holy crap, this guy is he's real. He's real. And so like when I read that, I'm like, holy shit, that makes that scene so much better than when I watched it the first time.
Now see, I kind of picked up on that the first time I watched it, because when I saw his face when that X-Wing came in, I was like, fuck, he knows. And he knows exactly who it is. He knows he's screwed.
Yeah, but
I could just see it.
But he didn't I don't know, I just didn't think of it then because I don't know, when not many people within the Imperial like world would have known about that, known about him, who he was, like until
but
after
he was
the
a Grand Moff, so he knew.
I guess. I don't know how much it was shared. More. The movies didn't allude that they shared.
No, they didn't. But the books explain that.
Yeah.
So if you're going through that timeline, he knew.
Right. But
If Thrawn knew, he knew.
It's true. But phenomenal ending to that. I mean,
yes, it was.
Book of Boba Fett had solid ratings. I mean, obviously, I've heard
First
it's a slower, but
yes.
Not bad. But it'll build.
It'll build. Yes,
I think it will.
Should. It shall. I
It
mean,
shall.
the first episode was great, set the tone for the rest of the series, so I can't wait to watch the rest of it.
Yeah,
I've
absolutely.
heard nothing but great things about it.
Yeah, and Mando's to go back to Mando for a minute, they're bringing in some decent characters or
Yes,
actors for the third season.
yes. I'm curious to see who they play.
Yeah, me too. And I mean, at the very least, we know we have a season 4 out of Mando because they would have said this is like
Yes.
the finals. It's good to know we have 2 more seasons at least of that.
Yeah. Well,
And
we
two,
hope. I mean, if they do end it in the third one, because they still can. But I believe they said they wanted to do 5 seasons of it and then end it. I think that's what the creator of it wanted to do.
I mean, obviously, who knows how they're going to continue to do it, but at the very least, right now, we know that if it's not next season, it'll be the season after or the fifth is going to end up on Taking Back Mandalore.
Yeah.
They've put it in that direction,
Yes, they did.
just based on what's going on. But they still haven't resolved obviously that, but they also haven't resolved how is she going to get the dark saber since it was just he got it in battle.
We'll see.
That's a problem because you have to kill the
That
person
is,
in battle, don't you? Or do you just have to
yes, you
beat
do.
them in battle?
I think you have to beat
Just
them.
beat them in battle.
I think it's just beat them in battle.
Okay, so then that shouldn't be too bad.
But it's been a while since I've read the lore about the
I
Mandalorians, like before
believe
the
it's
show.
just defeat in battle,
Yeah, I think it's just defeat. I
which
think
is
you're right.
fine.
Yeah,
But that could
because
give
not
him
Mandalorians don't usually kill; they usually capture.
right. But that could still be part of the storyline where he then is the leader of Mandalore.
That's where I think it's going to go.
Well, not
My opinion.
necessarily.
I'm not. I'm just saying that's what I think. I think that's where they're going to go with it. He's either going to become that, hate it, and try to give it away. It was my thought. Because he doesn't want to. I don't think he wants to be a leader. I just think it's going to be thrust upon him.
Yeah, it's interesting. We'll have to see.
We'll see. Yeah,
But and of course, what's coming out next
Obi-Wan.
month? Obi-Wan
Obi-Wan.
Kenobi, which I think
He
he
was
already
a
says
great Obi-Wan.
What's that?
He was a great Obi-Wan.
He is a great Obi-Wan.
I meant in the. You know what I meant.
No,
Hmm.
you meant that he's done after this.
I think he will be done after this.
No, he already wants to do a second season.
No, I mean after the show. Once they finish the
Oh,
show, he'll be
unless
done.
they ever remake Star Wars Episode 4, which I don't think they could. They
No,
could, but
no,
the
they
only
will
way
have
he
a
will
riot.
play it again is if he plays like the 70-year-old.
Yeah,
Like,
and you can't do that to Alex.
no, but
'Cause he was brilliant. He
yeah,
may have hated his role. He may have hated the movies, but he was brilliant in it.
he was. Well, he was a phenomenal actor, Alec Guinness.
Yes, yes, he was.
But I like that. Maybe it's just because I'm playing Fallen Order right now. But I like that this era where it's like the Empire's growing and like changing and lots of stuff is going on within it right now. So obviously the Inquisitors and stuff like that. I mean, it's been, I think they said it was 9 years.
Something like that. Yeah.
And it looks like it's going to be great. And they could make that series into like 5 seasons. And
Yeah.
they probably won't, which is going to be sad,
No.
but they
Yes.
really could.
Well, this one is limited, isn't it?
They say it is, but they could always
Yeah.
change it.
True, but
And he's never
Disney
done a
doesn't usually
series,
go
has
back.
he?
I don't know.
Even McGregor? I don't think he's done series before.
I
He's
don't think
just
he
done
has. I think he's
movies.
done movies. I think.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that is the only series he's done, or is going to be doing anyway.
Right.
Yeah, I'm not sure. I'm not familiar with all of his work. Just a few things. What was his other movie I liked him in before Star Wars? The fuck was he doing?
He was doing a bunch of stuff. I mean, you name it. He was doing Transpotting.
That was one of them, but no, that's not the one I'm thinking of.
He's actually was on Fargo.
Was he
as
really?
for TV series? Yeah. He was in. You're talking about like before Star Wars,
Yeah,
episode
it was
one.
before Star Wars. I'll
Oh
figure it out.
God, before episode one.
Yes, before episode one.
I mean, he did Rogue Trader. He did Night Watch.
Something about an island.
Brast Off. He did Stormbreaker. Last Days in the Desert, Stay,
Hold on. Give me a second.
Deception. Anyways,
There he is. You talk, I'll find it.
anyways, he did I think the Inquisitor side of stuff. I mean, I'm curious to see because it's supposed to take place, I think, on multiple planets, but of course Tatooine. But I'm just curious as to how the story is going to be because, your image is great right now. By the way, you're like pure white. I'm curious to how the story is going to go because we don't really know what he was doing in the meantime. Like what purpose is he achieving unless he's like trying to help like make the rebels like who they are, but like we don't know because there's not really any books, any lore, anything about this. So it's very curious as to how they're going to do it.
It's The Island. It's called The Island. In 2005. So it was after Star Wars, actually. It's my mistake on that one.
Yeah, your mistake.
But, yeah. It's my ass. That was a phenomenal movie. He was phenomenal in that.
Yeah. But I'm very excited for it. I think they'll do a good job with it. They have a proven track record of doing well at shows. I don't know what it is, but like when you think, like we've talked about this with Marvel versus DC, and
DC having the better shows and horrible movies,
right? And Star Wars just seems to they have like a 90%, I'll say, like rating overall in their movies and shows combined.
Yes, maybe.
Like maybe 85, which is still pretty good. But their shows, they've never had a bad show to my knowledge.
No, but they are still new.
True, but I mean, but even like animated stuff too, which obviously you can make go on longer and whatnot. But they even haven't had like poor stuff on that side either.
Not really.
So
the only one I wasn't thrilled with was the, and it's not that I didn't like it. It's I wasn't fond of the way they animated it. Was the Attack of the Clones or the Clone Wars? I just wasn't a fan of the way they animated it.
Oh, it was a different type of
the story.
Anime.
Yeah, it was a different type. And it's not my favorite. The story was great. It's the way it looked funny to me.
I mean, that's how they're all going now, though.
Yeah, I know, and it's
Most
irritating me. But
most of them.
That's just personal opinion. That's
sure.
All.
But yeah, if we're talking about like animated stuff, I think they did a great job with that story of the Clone Wars. I heard Rebels, which is not as intense, I guess you could say.
I haven't watched any of it.
It's more not like kid-like Teen Titans Go, but it's not as like young adult kind of stuff like the Clone Wars animated was, if that makes sense. It's like a notch back, I guess, but it still has like some moments. So I need to watch that too. So like again, my point of like there's so much shit to watch.
Oh. Not only that, but there's so much to read.
Absolutely.
have so many books.
Absolutely. I have
what would be your top tier of the books if you read any of them?
For the Star Wars?
Yeah.
That I have to read or that I like? Or both?
Or both. Both. Why not both?
So I like the Bane books a lot. The Thrawn books I want to read.
Oh God.
I've read some of the I guess I would call it pre-episode 1 books about like Maul and stuff like that, and I've read 1 or 2 like post episode 6, and that's it. So, and I've read some other ones like in between, but Thrawn I heard is a great one, but like just the whole expanded universe like in general, like there's so much like stuff that happens even between episode 4 and 5 that people just don't realize. There's so much storyline, and like they kind of allude to that a lot has happened in episode 5. They kind of even allude to that.
Yeah.
But they don't allude to how much time has passed in between.
Nope.
And same thing with like, I guess between 5 and 6, it hasn't been that long.
Not as long, I think. But still a decent amount of time.
A ton of stuff happens then.
Yes.
But between 4 and 5, I think it's like
a ton of
several years, I think.
Yeah.
In between.
Yeah. The Thawne series, the three original books, the Heir to the Empire and all them
Yeah.
phenomenal books, should have been the sequel. I mean, this was Star Wars like you first watched it. Like as you're reading that book, you heard the theme of Star Wars playing in your head. When you got to one of the scenes, if they're in a bar or something, you heard that song,
The
the
Cantina
bar
song.
playing. Yeah, the Cantina song playing in your head as you're reading it. You've heard it as that's how good Timothy Zahn wrote those books.
Yeah.
He's a phenomenal writer, and he doesn't just do Star Wars books, but he's done a lot of Star Wars books. And every single one of his Star Wars books has been number one in the New York Times.
He did a great job. I mean,
He did, and he's written even more about the Thawne. Prequel to Heir to the Empire and all that,
yeah,
the trilogy.
there's a
He wrote,
prequel Thrawn.
yeah, there's a prequel Thawne.
Okay.
So I would suggest doing it the right way. Read the trilogy, then go back
Yeah.
and read those.
Yeah. They, speaking on the Bane stuff too, they could do series or movie on that as well.
Yes, they could.
There's
And
enough.
if they
I want to
didn't
see
screw
them
up the
do more.
movies,
What's that?
if they didn't screw up the movies, they could have followed even after the Thawne trilogy books.
What's what I'm
There's
saying?
so many of them out there.
That was my point. If the Marvel stuff, there's so many. If they had just done what the expanded universe did
Well,
and made those into movies, they could have had a Marvel-like thing where more than that, more than Marvel, they could have had 50 movies easily, and they choose not to.
yep, they choose not. Well, maybe since now Disney owns it, maybe they'll do a what if Star Wars.
Or they can just do Star Wars multiverse and just say, "Oh, these three movies are just on their own, and that part, and everything else is right here," and just start over. Literally, trash the sequels, throw them in the trash,
Yeah.
rip them apart.
There's only one. There's only one issue with that.
What?
Harrison Ford does not want to play Han Solo anymore. He refuses.
Get somebody else to play. Why do we need to keep him to?
He is Han Solo.
Yeah, but you realize that you're gonna have to get younger people to play them anyways
I get that. Yeah.
because you don't have a choice.
No, you don't. They're getting too old. Oh, Mark Hamill, I think could still do it.
No, because if you're talking about the point is that if you want to do all this stuff that you're talking about, you need to recast them because this happened like 20 years ago, theoretically.
Yes.
So you can't have the same people playing them.
Well, I don't know. I just saw. You ever see Tron?
It's been so long.
The second one, they made him age differently, younger. They can do it.
They can do it, but it's again, you'd rather have somebody who can just progress and not have to spend all that extra money, and especially for people that might lose commitment and then you're stuck doing that. I'd rather you just find
All right,
someone
that's fine.
who's die
But one
hard
thing
will
is-
do it.
Mark Hamill still has to get rid of whoever you hire's voice and put Mark Hamill's voice in there.
If he wants to do it.
Oh, he'll do it.
Will he though?
Yeah. He loves doing voice work.
You know
Come
what
on,
he did?
Joker.
Yeah, I was about to say.
He's phenomenal with voice work. He's brilliant at it.
How much voice work do you think he's done? Like how much
Like,
filmography?
Ton. What was the? Wasn't he one of the villains in Airbender or something like that?
Airbender? No.
Wasn't he?
No.
I thought he
Oh,
was.
yeah, you're right. He was
He was.
one of the enemies, the enemy.
I didn't say the. I just said one of the enemies.
Yeah. He voiced the Fire Lord. Yeah.
Yeah.
But he did so much stuff too. I mean, obviously so much Batman stuff. He was in Little Mermaid. Do you know that?
No, who the fuck was he in
He
Little Mermaid?
voiced Little Mermaid.
Who the fuck was he in Little Mermaid?
You don't know?
No.
He was. I don't even know actually, because it doesn't. It credits him, but I'm gonna try to act cool and say, "Oh, I knew."
Yeah, you.
I don't know.
Yeah,
No, he is in it though. He is in it.
Yeah, but he's uncredited basically, right?
He doesn't have a. He's got to have something in it though, but I don't know who it is. But yeah, Batman, Little Mermaid, obviously Star Wars. He's done. Scooby Doo.
Yeah, Scooby Doo. I knew that.
He's done. obviously Star Wars spoofs.
Yeah. He was also in a couple of the Flash ones. He was also in Full Throttle, the video game.
Mm-hmm.
Ren and Stimpy show. The
Yeah,
fuck was
he was
Mr.
in.
Noggin and Mystery Trash Can Man.
He did Balto 2, by the way, as well.
Yeah.
Midnight
The Tick.
Ride.
Hey Arnold.
Hey Arnold, yeah. So he did a lot.
He does a lot, like the Incredible Hulk, Pinky and the Brain,
Yeah, I mean, Mark
so
Hamill,
much.
freaking
He's
legend,
a
70 years
yes,
old,
I'm still doing it. But
still
my
doing it.
favorite voice acting of his is when he impersonates Harrison Ford. I love it.
Yeah, but yeah, and then of course we can't leave out the amazing freaking god that he is,
No, yes,
John
definitely.
Williams.
John Williams, the composer of all the great music that
Yeah,
he wrote for those movies, and pretty much any iconic movie you can think of, he was the composer for it.
Jurassic Park,
Jurassic Park, Lord of the Rings,
Harry
Harry
Potter.
Potter,
Um,
Jaws.
there's were memes, and I think they're probably still circulating. That was like, oh, John Williams, can you just write a little bit of a theme for the Kenobi series? Like, nothing major, just something whatever. And and he basically like they show him putting like 10,000% effort in,
Yeah,
like making the like a new Duel of the
exactly,
Fates, basically, but like still
exactly
Duel
what
of
he
the
would do
Fates.
too.
Absolutely, and the guy is like 92, I think.
Yeah, something like that, and he's still doing it.
Like, what a freaking legend! 90 years old. 90 years
90.
old. Yeah, and Indiana Jones as well, and he
Yep.
did Schindler's List. He did E.T., Superman, Home Alone,
Superman, Hopeful. Yep.
Memoirs of a Geisha, Saving Private Ryan, Catch Me If You Can. I mean, you name it, he
He's done
did
it.
so much. Lincoln. He did War of the Worlds,
Which one?
2005 with Tom Cruise.
Lost in Space? Or
War
the
of the
TV show?
Worlds. The War of the Worlds. The movie.
Yeah, the movie. Well, there's been two movies.
2005 War of the Worlds. That's what it
All
is.
right, so that one.
The
Okay.
original.
That's not the
Um,
original.
War of the Worlds is not the original of War of the Worlds.
Yes, the 2005 was not the original. There's two. There's one in 19 something.
Uh,
60s, 70s, something like that.
well, the newer one.
Yeah. 1988.
But I mean, again, so much stuff. Just a great, yeah. And I mean, he is the all-time great, I think.
Yes. Yeah. Him and Danny Elfman are the two greatest, I think.
Yeah, but he is the great.
Yes, he is.
Definitely above Elfman. I personally, I would love to like chat about which of his stuff is like the best, but I honestly could not pick.
Oh, that would be a tough.
I just
I
couldn't.
don't
I mean,
think I
because
could.
there's so many iconic.
Actually, I think I could. Star Wars. Star Wars would be my best, my
Yeah,
favorite.
I
I'm
guess I
sorry,
would
but
have to, just because.
it's so iconic, and
And
it's been so iconic for so long.
and he did like all of it. That's the ones that he
Yep.
like did all of. Because like Lord of the
Yep.
Rings, to your point,
Yeah.
he only did like I think one or two. He didn't do like
Yeah.
everything.
He didn't do all of it. No.
Yeah,
Star Wars, he did anything you hear in Star Wars music wise is him.
yeah. Did he actually do Lord of the Rings? I don't think he did.
Actually, I think I did. I think I did see him.
No, he did not do Lord of the Rings, unless I'm mistaken. I don't see it on here. Yeah, he did not. Indiana Jones though.
He did, yes.
But
The Oscars.
the Oscars, yeah,
Jurassic World, Jurassic Park.
yeah. But phenomenal, phenomenal. And I know we don't give music as much discussion
we
on
should
the
more.
podcast. So that's why we really want to highlight it. I mean, it's iconic stuff that when you listen to it, you know it's him.
Yeah.
Right? And to your point,
Yes,
Danny
definitely.
Elfman as well. And I think Hans Zimmer,
Yes, another good one.
another good one. And then one that's not as well known, but has done some great music work in video games. Mike and a couple TV shows. Michael Giacchino. He did Lost. He did Medal of
The
Honor.
TV show Lost.
TV show Lost.
Ah, yeah,
He
that's
did.
him. Okay.
He did Medal of Honor. That being a couple of the earlier ones. I think he might have done some later ones. But he's another phenomenal one and not as well known. At least and well known, but not as well known as like as many other people. But he actually did the new Batman, believe it or not.
Batman the movie.
Yes.
Gotcha.
He did Ratatouille. He actually did The Incredibles. He did some new Spider-Mans. He did Star Trek. The new Star Trek movies.
The new Star Trek movies, he did those? Okay.
Yep.
Well, I'm looking for something.
Yeah, go ahead. That's fine. Cars. John Carter. Planet of the Apes.
Planet of the Apes. The original? No, he couldn't have done the original.
2014.
Yeah, okay.
He actually did Star Wars, some music in Star Wars The Force Awakens, too.
Did he?
Yes. Cloverfield he did. So he did a good amount, too. And I mean, that's just his movies and whatnot. Video games, right. He did a lot as well. So
I'm actually looking for the composer that does some of the Pixar movies. He's phenomenal, and he's from Philadelphia. I can't think of his name, and I'm trying to figure it out.
Well, there's a bunch of them. I mean,
yeah, I know. I can't remember exactly what movie he.
Well, you will have to think about that. And
yeah, I will.
If you remember, we'll put it in the part of the description.
Yeah, that's probably what I'll do.
But it's not Patrick Doyle.
No.
Or Randy
Michael
Newman.
Something.
Michael Giacchino.
That might be who it was. I can't.
Who I was talking about the whole time.
Probably. Well, I was looking it up while you were talking. I was paying attention, your ass.
Thanks.
No problem.
But he's basically the number. Yeah, he's the number one who composes the scores for it.
Yeah.
For Pixar, at least.
Yeah, for Pixar. Yeah, he does a phenomenal job on it.
Yeah, I mean, seriously, if you guys don't listen to a lot of like that style music, believe us, go look up those people.
Yep.
John Williams, if you haven't, then
oh God,
what the hell's wrong with you?
You heard his stuff.
Hans Zimmer, Michael Giacchino, and Danny Elfman.
Danny Elfman. There's another iconic Beetlejuice. Just so many greats on that guy's list. Unreal.
Yeah, I mean, and that's the kind of stuff that.
Now, who did Back to the Future?
Who did Back to the Future? Are you testing me with this knowledge?
I'm testing you. Yes.
Without looking it up, I could not tell you.
Oh man.
What?
Well, look it up then.
I have to just tell me and look it up.
No, look it up.
No.
No, I want to see the look on your face when you realize who it is. That's.
Is it John Williams? Is it really? No, it's
I'm
not.
waiting for you to look it up.
God, this is why we need a producer to do this for me.
I would tell the producer not to look this one up. Just to
no. This that would be Alan Silvestri.
Mm-hmm.
Really?
Not as iconic in itself. Now, who you thought right away? John Williams.
Well, I knew it wasn't John Williams, but
yeah. But it still had the same kind of style, John Williams.
Yeah, and he's done a lot of stuff too. Night at the Museum.
Yeah, he's done a lot of stuff too. Yeah,
Mummy,
Night at the Museum.
He's done obviously Back to the Future, but he's did Castaway, Forrest Gump, Polar Express.
Oh, I didn't know he did Polar Express.
He did that. He did Predator 2.
Yeah, he didn't do Predator 1.
He did Predator in 1987.
Did he?
And 1990 Predator 2.
2, yeah.
Beowulf.
I never watched it.
Some Marvel stuff too, actually.
Really? I didn't know he did the Marvel stuff.
Some. Captain America, he did Infinity War.
Okay.
So he did some stuff.
Yeah. Yeah, no, he's good.
Yeah.
So when you think that you hear that Avengers theme song, it probably was him.
But you know what the range of this guy? This is how you know you have good composers. This guy composed from Father of the Bride
Wow. Talk about old.
to Stuart Little
Still,
to Avengers Infinity War to Back to the Future. Like,
Future. Yeah.
how
He
much
has a
like
range.
do you
Yeah.
have to have
Exactly.
to freaking compose music
Those
for
movies.
a freaking mouse?
Yeah. Not only that, Father of the Bride. I mean,
But that's not like how much music in that is like. It's very
actually, there's quite a lot of music in that.
no. I mean, I know there is, but like it's very like it's background.
Mellow.
It's not
mellow
like
background. Yeah.
it's not like prominent, strong like
No.
in Avengers or Star Wars or
Or
Harry
Back to the
Potter
Future.
or Back to the Future. Like you can hear that music
And
playing.
you instantly think it.
Instantly think it, but also playing like heavily in some parts.
Yeah.
So, I mean, yeah,
Like when that song comes on, Back to the Future, and I just visualize the car wheels going up and it taking off. You know.
absolutely. You know, I haven't seen Back to the Future Part 3.
You've never seen that one?
Not the third one, no.
Oh man.
I
I actually like that
people see, here's the problem with the internet and
Oh, God.
stuff like that is when you hear enough bad stuff about a movie, you just decide I'm not going to watch it
It's
because
not
so
that
many
bad of a
people
movie.
hated it.
Not that bad of a movie. The only reason people hated it is because the way they wrote it and shot it and edited it, and they did the second, and third
So
one
everything
back to back.
about it.
You know what I mean? They did it back to back, just one right after the other, and then they came out with the second one, and then like a couple months later, the third one came out.
Yeah, there wasn't. Well, so you think
It
if they
was-
delayed it by a year, that would be better?
I think if they shot, did the second one, let it come out, then gone and shot the third one, I think it would have been a little bit better.
The biggest part about that is just the writing, the story of it. That's the part that fails about it.
Yeah, usually
'Cause
does.
You're right. I mean, not always, because it could be the
Not
actors
always.
or whatever.
It could
but,
be the actors. It's
it's
true.
usually the writing or the directing. That's what it comes down to a lot of the time.
Directing is a big part of it, yeah.
Directing
But I
and
didn't
writing
think the
is.
third one was that bad. I actually liked it.
Yeah, I don't know. I'll watch it at some point, but
All right, well, we'll reconvene in 10 years.
what's that?
We'll reconvene in 10 years after you watch it. After
Yeah.
you get through all the other shit you got to get through.
You're saying we're not going to be still doing this podcast in 10 years?
No.
Are you planning on doing something else?
Yeah, I'm going to break off on my own.
Yeah, are you? Who's going to
Yeah.
who's going to put up with your ass but me?
I'll show you exactly. Oh,
Yeah.
no, she ran away.
Yeah, see? Exactly.
Yeah, she
I'm
thinks she's in
holding you
trouble.
up here with no one else. Is,
Oh,
you know?
okay. Oh, okay.
you might keep me in line, but I'm the one who's putting up with your ass.
That's true. You are putting up
So
with
that's
my
why
ass.
we have a good combination here.
Yeah, well, the only reason it's you is because the other person I wanted couldn't
I see. Yeah. That's because the other person doesn't know about your PPA troubles.
do it. PPA?
PPA.
Okay.
You know what that means?
Not a fucking clue.
You don't know what the PPA? Parking
Nope.
Wars?
Jesus. So that right there proves I have never been on that fucking show. 'Cause I didn't even know what PPA fucking meant.
Well, maybe we'll share that inside joke someday.
Yeah, I don't even understand the inside joke. Who the hell came up
It
with that?
takes
fucking
place in your town, in your city. How do you not
thing?
understand
Other
it?
shit that
Have
takes
you never
place in my
watched
town.
that show?
No, never watched it. Never watched that. Never watched Storage Wars. Never.
That
not much type of
actually
shit.
wasn't bad until like season 4. Then it got. And I'm not a reality TV guy,
Neither am I. That's why I have never watched it.
but there's certain ones like that. Like
I'll
Ice
watch
Road
the cooking
Truckers too
shows.
wasn't bad. What's that?
I'll watch the cooking shows. I like them.
Like which
Chopped
ones?
and Chopped and night. What is it? It's
Iron
they
Chef.
have to they have to spend money and they get weird
Oh.
things to
The
other
Guy
people.
Fieri's supermarket
No.
shop.
It was there was 3 contestants. They each get like
Oh,
$25,000.
they get to
And
screw
then
people over, right?
yeah, and they screw people. I forget the name of it.
Oh yeah. I know what you're talking about.
That was a good. I like that one. That was a good show.
Well, he
I like watching them screw them over. That was
same
fun.
guy that hosts Chop does that one.
Yeah, he was in. He hosted that as well.
Um,
I liked him. He was funny.
yeah, I mean, the
And
only type of food shows I like
Cake
are
Boss.
like Man versus Food, like something like that. Like going to
Cake
a
Boss.
Cake Boss. That wasn't bad. It fell
Boss.
apart like the last like.
It did. It did.
But
But I liked it. And I actually had one of his cakes.
really, how was it?
Oh, it was phenomenal.
Really?
Yep.
Like fresh or like you bought it in the
Fresh.
store? Fresh.
I had it made for my birthday. I
Really?
had someone go drive to his original store and pick it up and bring it here.
Wow. It was phenomenal, huh?
Phenomenal.
Did he make it
Phenomenal.
himself?
I doubt it. I highly doubt he made it
Or
himself.
someone from the show? Maybe you should rewatch that show. They could be making it
Nah,
for you
mine
on
was
the show.
mine wasn't that elaborate. You know what I mean? It was just a Fallout cake actually.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
You don't know.
So
Maybe it was.
it wasn't that. It was just a single cake with a couple of Fallout things on it. That's it.
Yeah.
But it was phenomenal. Great, great. Now they have one in Philly. We go there and get them.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
See, it's I mean, good for him, but
Yeah.
I think what fell apart for him was his issues with when he got arrested. That's when the show kind of took a fell
That
apart.
and when he hurt his hand.
So he's still recovering from that now, I think.
Yes, but he's still baking now. He's baking now,
Yeah.
but he's still recovering. But at least he can bake now.
But it is so it did stop for 2 years and then it came back
Yeah.
and went to the
It wasn't the
Discovery
same
Channel.
since. Yeah, it wasn't the
Discovery
same.
Well, it's tough to again, it goes back to what we started the
Much.
podcast out today. It's tough
Yeah.
to have a show go on for that long
Oh, yeah.
without issues.
Yeah, it is.
But well, I think we got to wrap up, but
Yeah.
we appreciate all you sticking around. We'll have more episodes coming out soon. We will have
Yes.
guests returning to learn from them,
podcast.
talk to them about our topics of the
And torture them.
torture them, ask them questions. Please, as always, please give this video a thumbs up if you're watching it on YouTube. Give us a follow on Spotify, Amazon Video, everywhere you can get your podcasts, as well as subscribe to the YouTube channel. Our links are below in the video to both of our link trees, which has our Twitches and Twitters and all that stuff is right
All
there.
that stuff. And our YouTube channels where he does a phenomenal playthrough of stuff.
Well, you're doing a pretty good job with your playthrough as well, but
Trying to.
I'm still, I'm glad that I believe you put a new one out recently, didn't you? Of the
Half-Life 2?
yeah.
Yes,
So is
I
it
did.
back?
And it will be. I gotta hopefully get to record this weekend. But with work and all that stuff, I might not be able to.
And I am still trying to fix mine as well because
Are
of
you?
might work on that tonight instead of game, but I don't know. We'll see. But
You need to get a Switch, man. Because they're all on the Switch.
I know
And,
but I can't transfer the memory over to the Switch.
no, you would have to start over, but you don't have to record. You just do everything up to that point, then start recording.
I know. Might have to start a new game as a hiatus until I can catch back up. We'll see.
That's fine.
Then I have to do double the work for a little bit.
Oh, you poor baby.
I know.
Oh, you have to play video games. How hard is that?
It's I have a hard life. I don't know if you realize that or not. All right.
Oh,
But in
to play
all
video
seriousness, no, a lot of people don't know the amount of work and time it
They know.
takes to do all that stuff.
No, they don't.
It's a lot.
It
And,
does take
like,
a lot.
I give so much props to people, and then we'll end it, I promise. But so much props to you see like people that like just start to pop up in popularity with like videos on YouTube or TikToks or whatever. Like think about how much
actually
stuff
am doing
they
that
had
now.
to do beforehand
Yeah.
to get to that point, and all the
Yeah.
stuff they have to. They have tougher jobs sometimes than we do.
Yes.
Because they have to think up new ideas and all sorts of
Yep.
stuff, and it's
And we could steal off of them.
well, we would never admit to that. But I mean, the
I just did.
podcast is it's very much fun, but we do have to obviously prepare
Yes.
for the podcast about what we're going to talk about, the guests, As all podcast people do, questions we're going to ask them. So there's preparation, but
there's preparation.
And not to say there's
yes.
not preparation with the YouTube stuff, but you know what
No,
games
there
you're going
is.
to play. You have to obviously
Yeah.
edit and commentate it, but you know what you're
Yes.
going to play every week.
Basically, yeah. Unless you finish that game, then you have to think of what game next to pick. But there's so many to pick from. You could pretty much pick anything you want and still get some views.
Right. So, but once again, we thank you all. We will, of course, be back in May with more of That's Entertainment podcast. Yes.
Peace, love, game, y'all.
Positive vibes, y'all.